It's Mr. Ilja Dragunov. Ilja, how are you?
I'm good, Kenny. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. This must be pretty exciting for you because this Thursday you're going to be facing Walter for the title. You won the Battle Royal earlier this year. How are you feeling about it? It feels like this is a huge match, like a dream match almost.
It feels special. It feels like everything I can say. It feels special. Every time I was with Walter in the ring, there was something. There was a level up for me. There was. This is like the true challenges of life. Like this is more. This is more than just wrestling. This is like a true like fight to survive. This is something like I can even put it in words because this is something like nobody ever see before. This is like a new level of brutality, new level of violence. This is a true fight because that shows how much worth it is to fight through the NXT UK Championship. This is like the end game, and there's nothing else I could possibly do to leave my soul there.
And I mean, the other thing is, Walter said in the promo as well, you guys came from the same system. You guys have faced each other before. You've talked about it. Talk a little bit about your history with him and how that kind of plays into the match.
Excuse me? Again?
Can you talk a little bit about your history with Walter, and how that maybe plays into the match? He talked about you guys coming from the same system and you guys have faced each other before.
This is like, I think he made me in a lot of my life. Like as a wrestler, he made me completely because every time it was like before, it's changed something about me because there was so much work for something, so much fight for something. I think it's like something, just a constellation that was made to be. This is something like we need to fight each other. And we recognize it very early, back to 2017. There was something like, there was an electricity when we both stepped into this ring. So nothing else could happen. They just go like ridiculously into this. And I think like this is something very unique. If you are able as a performer to go ridiculously into this with all the energy and all the intensity you have, and this happened all the time. He has also like an intensity which is completely different to mine, but we are very similar because we just hit each other like a lightning strike, and that's something that people feel when we face each other.
And I mean, a lot of people were talking on social media about the tag match that you and Pete had against him and Alexander Wolf. Were you expecting that sort of response? Because everybody was talking about it and sort of, urging people they have to watch that match.
I think it's like if you're like putting something into wrestling, which is so real like a fight where the action just don't stop. The people get it. I think it was like if you have something which is just permanently flowing, like this match was, if anything can happen anytime, like it did in that match, that's something people want to see. That's entertainment.
And how have you been able to deal with, because obviously you won the Battle Royal months ago and then the world happened. So, things had to wait a little bit and now it's finally happening. What have you done to kind of keep your focus over the months and be able to kind of stay in shape?
I don't need to do anything to keep my focus. My focus is always alive. This is like my intensity in the ring. I always have it. I always have this fire inside of me. And I especially felt it when this whole thing started with the pandemic. Like, it wasn't an easy situation for us all. It was very hard for a lot of people, and a lot of people showed a lot of strength during this situation. And what I can say, I mean, like, I needed to put strength into this. And I saw it from a positive side. I mean, like on the one hand, I can't wrestle, we can't do anything. But on the other hand, I can spend so much great, fulfilling time with my family just to recover, just to get my head straight. And also to put a lot of preparation. Like I worked out like 5 days a week, straight 3.5 hours, just increased my whole training routine just to be as prepared, as intense, as focused as I could be to come back and to go with everything I have into this chance.
And take us back to when you first walked into BT Studios, and they'd put that all together. It's state of the art. It looks amazing. What was your reaction like when you walked in and saw that BT Studios set for the first time?
I thought it was beautiful. That BT Sports Studio was the highest class of professionalism. It was the perfect start to get back in and to show that we are all as NXT UK, like we are strong. And this is the perfect environment to show how strong we are and how strong we can come back. And we did. And we're going to be stronger and stronger all the time. Doesn't matter how long does it take.
And you can see through your interviews and through you in the ring, you're very passionate about wrestling, about being the best. What made you fall in love with wrestling? What made you get into this as a profession?
I mean, wrestling was my home. It is still my home, and it became my home in a very difficult time where I came into, like, I living in Germany. I came into Germany when I was very young as an immigrant with my mother and parts of my family, and a lot of things were super complicated for me. The language was complicated for me. The whole living here was complicated for me because it was a completely new environment, and this is a lot for a kid. And a lot of years I suffered from this very badly, and when I came to wrestling, I finally had the feeling that I do something right. I had the feeling that gives me something, that gives me a platform to express myself, to express what my soul is all about. And that's the reason I never stopped this. I didn't come into wrestling like watching it into the TV. I just started to train it, and then I started to get focused on wrestling and learn about this. And this reason that I had the chance to express my soul and everything, because wrestling is an art, and I let my soul flew into it. That keeps me there, and it keeps my passion and my love for life in general.
And when you were starting to kind of get involved in wrestling or train in wrestling and watch things, who were your influences? Who were the people that you watched in wrestling and kind of were able to take things from?
Definitely Kenta Kobashi and Nigel McGuinness. It was definitely my role models. I followed from the first beginning.
And is it weird now to see Nigel McGuinness being one of the people you're influencing? Now he's going to be calling your match. Now he's going to be calling your title match.
Absolutely, it was weird for the first moment of time. It was like a lot of things when I started with WWE was surreal to me, and this was like one of the surrealest things like at all for me. But it's like, yeah, it tells me I did something right.
And for people who weren't aware of you already, they may have become aware of you with the match with Cesaro last year at TakeOver. And that was a match again where people online were going, if you've not watched NXT UK, you need to check this match out. What was it like working with Cesaro? What are your memories of that match?
My first memory of this was when I knew I will face him again. I had the feeling, okay, that's the biggest sign of respect I can get, because if the company gives a lot of trust in me, I definitely gonna make the best out of it. Yeah. And it was a stepping stone for me, of course, because I just people wait for the chances to show what they truly are about. I think this was like a very good impression for the people what I am all about, especially against a world-class competitor like Cesaro is.
And obviously as well, we saw last year that Walter was part of the Survivor Series, and I know with the way the world is, maybe this year's Survivor Series is not possible. But if you're the United Kingdom champion and you're able to go over to the US at some point, and whether it's in a Royal Rumble or Survivor Series, is there anybody in the US in WWE that you would like to get in the ring with that you can look at and go, I could do something great with them?
Absolutely. I think always about like the perfect scenario, and not like just match wise, not just dream match wise. I think about something which is so special because nobody would think about this before, which could be like very unique and very unpredictable. And I think like a character as unique and special like Ilja Dragunov is, it would be very special to face Bray Wyatt. It would be very special in a lot of ways that I think nobody would ever see this coming.
I mean, seeing you and the Fiend face off together would be quite the moment to watch for sure.
I think so.
And the last thing I want to ask you is, if you are successful this Thursday and win the NXT United Kingdom Championship, if it was up to you, who would your first title defense be against? Who do you look at in NXT UK and think, they deserve a title shot?
A-Kid. I think A-Kid is like definitely the person in NXT UK to where people should like pay their attention to, because I never saw someone like with this kind of special work ethic and this special kind of persona so talented and so humble. And we already had a match against each other. Why not repeat it?
Why not? Why not? Well, listen, Ilja, I want to thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on Thursday when you and Walter batter each other, I'm sure. We're all going to look forward to watching it, and best of luck with becoming NXT UK champion.
Thank you very much.